Aditya Hrudayam. Aditya, the sun, Hrudayam, you can say the heart, the cause, the central essence, central focus, and we'll study in a minute what do we mean by the word cause. So far as the flow of knowledge is concerned, we have physical or the grosser, then we have subtler, and we have causal. Physical, with our eyes and with our body, whatever we learned, or it is perceivable with our senses. Subtle, you do not see it, but it is still influencing your life. And of course, one of the simplest example I could give you is the coronavirus. You don't see it, but it is acting at a much subtler level. And anything to happen, meaning at the grosser level or the subtler level, there has to be a cause that causes certain thing to happen. And so far as we human are concerned, our causal level is the good combination of our physical and subtler. Those of you who do believe in the theories of karma, then you will know that that thing causes certain thing to happen and that causes certain thing to be learned. Now, keeping that in mind, some of us, we may wonder why Aditya Hrudayam in the first place. What is Aditya? Or you can even say, who is Aditya? At one point in time, we have learned Aditya to be sun. Now, sun can be the one in galaxy, or sun also has so many other meaning. Sun meaning the source of knowledge. Sun meaning light. Sun meaning a source of heat. Sun meaning a source of life. And as the time will go by, we'll learn few more meanings of the word sun. So some of us, we may believe that why do I even have to know one more God? But God is a concept. All of us, we may have it differently. This will really open up our angle of vision. We'll come to know, oh my God, this is what it is. And the sage, the Rishi, whose name, who has given so much to us in the form of Aditya Hrudayam. Meaning those, even if we don't know the meaning, and just by chanting itself, we know that what vibration can cause. So even at the vibration level, that causes phenomenon, expansion or the clarity in our mind. We had seen what is the power of thought, many a times. And those of you who don't know, or those of you know, it will be just a matter of reminder that even though we think that water is insentient, meaning perceivably it looks like it is non-living. So even if you just talk to water, just once even, that you stupid, and on the other cup you just say, I love you. So thereafter, if you take a drop of water from each cup and you examine under the microscope, you will see the structure of the water molecule changes, and it is not a hearsay, but it has been right here in San Diego. Dr. Motoyama has done a phenomenon experiment which has been scientifically documented. So it tells us that what does a thought do? What does a sound do? Or even to go further, you do not even have to say it loud, but you just stand in front of a glass of water and mention that the thought itself is so powerful at secular level, it does do a phenomenon job. And to bring it to our level, even if you simply think or keep on thinking that I'm diabetic, the thought itself may make you diabetic, or it may retain the state of your diabetes. Instead, if you think that I'm healthy and I just have diabetic condition, it will have a different effect. Nevertheless, I'm not going tangential to it, but I'm just letting you know that this Aditya Hrudayam is such a gift to the mankind. Even if we do not understand Sanskrit, or even if we understand the Sanskrit and its translation, but it's a matter of the deeper level of faith, a deeper level of trust that will make a phenomenon difference. And when I say that makes phenomenon difference, if you see people in southern India who, I may be wrong, this is my opinion, are a lot more literate and are a lot more trusty, they have strong belief and faith in the scripture, and most of them are experiencing. So almost every house, I would say almost every house, is gifted with this part or the mantra or the sutra called Aditya Hrudayam. So understanding this little bit, and as the time will go, I will bring you to our awareness as to how does it act and why Aditya, meaning the sun in the first place. And as last time, very casually, I explained or I brought to our attention that this is the story, so to say, in that Aditya Hrudayam. The two characters are coming into picture mainly. One is the Bhagwan Ram and the other one the Ravana. Ravana, as most of us we know, is considered to be a demon or asura. I will not get into the definition of asura, Ravana, demon, and whatnot. But just consider, and it has been projected to us to be a bad person. At the same time, it has been projected to us to be a person with a supreme, not supreme, but lack more powerful intelligence and lack more physical strength. So when Bhagwan Shri Ram, Maryada Purushottam, a, an incarnation of divinity, some of you may question, but don't worry about it. But right now, treat in this as a character, okay? And my main point is, again, it is my own personal opinion, that how it relates to each and every one of us in our day-to-day life. And later on, toward the end, we will learn as to how this Aditya Hrudayam could be of intense help to all of us. So those two characters, one, Bhagwan Shri Ram, we are not Bhagwan Shri Ram, but just understand that we are a person. And a Ravana, the 10-headed personality or 20 arms personality, very powerful, very strong, irresistible, and few other adjectives we can use, that happen to be nothing other than our own ego. Understanding these 2 points, and if you try to relate to it, how often, almost in so many motivational speeches or in scriptural study or the religious or the spiritual study, we have been told, oh, ego, just get rid of ego and you will be all right. All of us, we have come to know what it is by now. So here, how at the grosser level, at the subtle level, and even at the causal level, to attempt to dissolve the ego. And once when there is no ego, there is no difference between an individual being and the one with an expanded view. I will not use the word right now, realized person and Bhagwan and moksha and liberation, all those with which all of you are familiar. Okay, familiar, that's all I can say, because we have heard it. And it is everybody's effort you put in, oh, I just want to be liberated. But here, we'll come to that study in a little while. So right now, understand this is what we are planning to attempt, and Rishi Agastya is trying to guide us into, in a very plain, simple language. And that's why I will not get into the Sanskrit, nor I know grammar and others, but we'll try to convey the meaning as to what Rishi Agastya was planning to guide Bhagwan Shri Ram and how he was empowered just by listening to once. Of course, to us, it will be a constant reminder. That meaning constant repetition. I will not say constant, but almost daily repetition that is so much needed of Aditya Hrudayam. Now let's go to the first sloka again. And in the first sloka, we have also to know that what is that state that Bhagwan Shri Ram is facing, and Ravana, he is encountering Ravana. Now, understanding these 2 points, for example, if there is a huge sumo wrestler and there's a child of 10 years old what would Sumo has to think? Sumo may think, hey, it's child's play, it's not my competitor. But if it happened to be another, so to say, world champion, and there are two world competitors, world champion, and when they have to fight, do you know that the person has to think and strategize to make sure that he wins the battle and he does not lose the battle? So when it was coming out to be a, so to say, a fight, a war between Bhagwan Shri Ram and Ravana, now understand, as I explained, Ravana is not an ordinary person. It is considered to be the man with 20 arms and 10 heads of intelligence. And that to be defeated in the war is not that easy. So at the same time, Ram was not nervous, but Ram was pausing for a few seconds, and in his mind he was thinking, how may I strategize to defeat Ravana? In almost all of us along our journey in spirituality, we may be strategizing a lot as to how to annihilate or destroy our ego, or even to come to know what the role our ego is playing. Let me tell you, I am the first one, we are the first people to be under the influence of our ego. We even do not recognize that our entire behavior is so full of ego. So unless and until even you realize or recognize what is the sense in even thinking of annihilating or destroying or dissolving the ego, or to go beyond the ego, first thing is even to recognize. He being Bhagwan Shri Ram, he recognizes that the person across me is a heck of a competitor, and as a result, I must strategize. So when that thought comes, that thought was sensed by the great master Rishi Agastya, just sense. And when he sensed, he wanted to advise Bhagwan Shri Ram. And what advice does he give? That starts from Sutra 3rd onward. So let us first see first and second sutra. They are just describing to us as to where he is, at what juncture, okay, and what is the surrounding. I don't think he may be describing surrounding as much, ambience, but he sends slight, deeply thinking Ram. I will not use the word confusion because we are dealing with Sri Bhagwan Ram. So now I will take you to the slides of the sutra or the slokas, and let's see what we can understand out of it. And right in the beginning, I would say, I appreciate all of your interest. And I'm not a master, but it is just this has been brought to my dear list of sutras, and I'm grateful to Sanat about doing this. But at the same time, it is my suggestion to all of you, don't think just by listening once, and you will be at the understanding Aditya Hrudayam at subtler level. One more thing in this light I would like to mention, and again, this is not my statement, but I love this statement, and this statement is also from Upanishad Ganga, and in that, a great Sanskrit scholar and teacher has advised his son that, dear son, listen carefully. Dear son, life is a poetry. And to understand the poetry, you must be the part of it. You have to be a character in that to understand the poetry. That is all I have to say so far as this lovely sutra. I call it sutra, or I can even call it a scripture. It is, and it is so powerful. All right, now going to the sutras. Let me see, right now I'm passing Gayatri Mantra. Let me take to Aditya Hrudayam, but understand to quite a degree, both are same or similar, okay? And it is a matter of lifetime sadhana of this mantra or the sutra, okay? We just cursory went over Gayatri Mantra, and even if you can understand just these words, Om Bhurbhuva Swaha Tat Savitur, or every word, you can understand it to be a scripture on its own. And as a result, those great, great masters and rishis have said, Gayantam Trayate iti Gayatri. So one who sings this mantra or chant this mantra is protected by the mantra. Now it is a matter of you and I, we may be chanting, but mind you, it is not just chanting. As Upanishad Ganga's narrator says, in order to understand the poetry, you have to be the part of the poetry. So when you say Om Bhu, Om Bhuva, Om Swaha, so this grosser world, subtle world, and the causal world. Now see again, those three words are coming, gross, subtle, and causal. Now these three words, that is nothing but the existence on the entire universe. And in that entire existence universe, you contemplate and contemplate enough so that you don't see day and night, you don't see no hunger, no thirst, no nothing, just deeply contemplating on and experiencing and witnessing what is that Om, the reality. Why grosser world is Om, why subtle world is Om, and why causal world is Om. What is that intelligence? And that itself is the creator, inspirer. And when you say they are in harmony with, meaning the tune with which the cosmos is acting and the tune with which a sadhaka, a practitioner, or the uh, spiritual seeker is. So when their inner frequency happens to be in harmony with the world outside, so there's no difference between outside and inside. That is when the mantra appears to be protecting him. So whereby the point I'm making is, to all of my dear friends, let me tell you simply, do not get lost into the mantra. Do not just chant for 5 days or 5 years and you think that you have mastered the mantra. Okay? And these, depending upon the further interest, we can go into further sadhana. So now let us go for Sutra Sloka number 1. Tato, okay, let us hear in a better voice.
Tato yuddha parishrantam samare chintaya sthitam Ravanam chagrito drishtva yuddhaya samupasthitam.
So here, when Rama was exhausted, samare chintayam sthitam. Sthitam means it is established in that state of chitta, chitta the mind, and he is chitta, chitta meaning anxiety, worries, or better, he's seriously considering the strategy. Okay? When Rama was exhausted in the battlefield, standing with greater sorrow and deep thought to fight against Ravana, while Ravanam cha agato, meaning he is well versed, Drashtra appears to be Yudhaya, to fight the youth and win the youth. Samupasthitam, he is upasthitam, he is sitting in front of me, he is on the battlefield, and I have to fight him. So this is just the first sloka says, it gives you the background of the where Agastya Rishi is coming up. He is the word pragatya. He comes, he appears out of nowhere, you can say, because those rishis, they had tremendous power. They can come at any time, they can go at any time, they can take a couple of bodies. So Agastya Rishi comes up at this juncture where Bhagwan Shri Ram, and in our plain world, when we want to do certain things, we are kind of puzzled. We could see, but our ego says certain thing, and which deprives us of some of our ability. So here, when it says greater sorrow and deeper thought, that chintaya, that means in the state of chinta, what Sri Rishi Agastya is realizing and what he is thinking, how he is advising, of whose on whom he has to contemplate. He already has it, but still certain thing comes into picture. So once again, I will read it so that you know. When Rama was exhausted, now he is getting exhausted because he knows, and he knows the situation, but so far as we are concerned, we get exhausted even to enter into the battlefield. Now, and this battlefield uh, can be our day-to-day life battlefield, and how our ego prevents us even from knowing the condition of the battlefield. We just enter the field, we lose the battle, and then we think, oh my God, how horrible it is, I lost it. So Agastya observed that, Agastya Rishi, and let's see now, go to the second one. Let us hear
देवतैश्च समागम्य द्रष्टुमभ्यागतो रणम् उपगम्याब्रवीदगामम् अगस्त्यो भगवान्.
Now only says here, Bhagwan Rishi. Bhagwan. And who is Bhagwan Rishi? Agastya. So that's what he is addressing. Devatasya samagamya, who was with other gods, approaches Rama. In other words, he's talking about Rishi Agastya when he was with, and when as soon as he realizes that Bhagwan Shri Ram is confused in Ranam, Rana, the battlefield, Upagamyam Avitrama Agastya Bhagwan Rishi. Agastya Rishi is appearing, and Bhagwan Rishi, you can say he's Bhagwan and he is Rishi, or you can say, again, I'm thinking that he Rishi appears before the Bhagwan Shri Ram. And then now from third onward, we will see what kind of instruction does he give. Now, understand Rishi. Okay, let's just play this. You guys can even try to chant with it so that you would know the pronunciation.
Ram Ram Mahabaho Shrunu Guhyam Sanathanam Dina Sarvanadina Vatsa Samade Vijayishase.
Now, Ram Rama Mahabaho. Ram, oh Ram. Ram is Mahabaho. Maha, it's a beautiful Sanskrit word. Maha means beyond comparison. Or in plain language, if I have to say, I can say it's greater than greatest. Very poor English, but for us understanding, where the greatness does not belong. So Ram, O Mahabahu, Bahu, Baho, plural, Bahu, the arms. That's to say, your strength is so powerful. Sunu, listen to Guhyam, the uh, deeper, profound, um, Sanatanam, eternal, ever beyond time. This is such a Guhya, the deeper knowledge, which I would like to share with you. So please listen. Yena sarva narin vatsa samade vijayisyasi. So, that sarva narin, every being, if you listen, vatsa, oh my dear, oh my son, or my beloved, samare, contemplating every time or reciting Vijayasisi, so that will become uh, victorious. And this appears to be addressing a physical fight. But mind you, this fight we have in our mind all the time. And even though this is the word Sanatanam, Sanatanam is the Guhya, the profound knowledge that Agastya Rishi is sharing with us. But we have also, to a degree, appearing like eternal, the war, so to say, between your mind and the heart. Mind says you do, heart says you don't. Heart says you do, mind says no. So that kind of conflicting situation, and mind you, mind, your rational being, your logical being, comes up with all kind of fancy argument and appears to be winning the war. First of all, most of us, we even don't know that there is a war. We even don't know what our heart is saying. And all the time it is the mind that dictates. And even though certain thing is right, and your heart says, no, you don't do, but his or her voice, or the heart voice, is easily suppressed by what your mind says. And so your ego comes into picture. Anyhow, so the word Sanatanam, the eternal, and I will say it is our, that fight is in our life, pretty much lifelong. And on and off, I will be mentioning the metaphor, but toward the end, if the interest prevails, we may go into its application. And now, let me, I will stop here for a second, and I want all of you to join me in this 5-time chanting of Suryo Jyoti Jyoti Suryo Swaha. What it means is, and that I tried to explain you last time, it is so beautiful to understand that sun is not sun without its brilliance or the light, Jyoti. And as soon as the Jyotis are there, then Surya is there. So it's a matter of, and what is that brilliance? Brilliance is an indicator of profound knowledge. Okay, so let me take you there. Again, try to read First, very simple pronunciation and simple words, but these are from Rig Veda, and believe me, this mantra has become so dear to me that if you keep on chanting and slowly lower your volume, you will get into the state of contemplation. I will not say the word meditation, it may also happen. So here I explain you the meaning, but whatever is the translation, light resides in the divine sun, and the rising sun reflects this light. Okay? Uh, and mind you, the words have so many meanings and it can explain so many ways, but this is how at this stage is coming to me. So I'm saying, let us contemplate on light and we ourselves can be sun someday. Listen, now start chanting with it. And I would say chant little loud so you get used to the sound and pronunciation and the vibration.
ज्योतिः सूर्यः सूर्यो ज्योतिः स्वाहा ज्योतिः सूर्यः सूर्यो ज्योतिः स्वाहा ॐ 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 ज्योतिः सूर्यः सूर्यो ज्योतिः स्वाहा
Now I would say just mentally chant 3 more times. Even if you don't know, you can read, but mentally chant 3 times. Kindly join me in the Shanti part. Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti. 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Okay, how about now?
The first one.
First one, you could see
Yes.
it, right?
Yes.
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 Okay, now, how about the second one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, now.
How about the third one?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we can see that.
Wow. Okay. Now, just hold on one more minute. How about now?
Yes.
I see that.
What? Om Jyoti Jyoti?
Yes. Om Jyoti
Yes.
Surya Surya Jyoti Swaha.
I don't know then what did go wrong. Okay, anyway, those of you are a little bit familiar, they may want to help me out in case if I'm doing something wrong. And or when you do not see this, there is a flag